Hey guys, God bless. Welcome back to my channel. I am Charlene. Welcome to another episode of ADHD and the Bible. Today I'm going to talk about something I'm sure a lot of people who suffer from an overly active mind can relate to. Simply saying overthinking. Sometimes I got the space, I got the opportunity to spend time with God. In plain terms, I have my setup. The house is quiet. Children are asleep. And I sit down in my chair like I do, like right now. And something in the distance or side cross view, I don't know what that, I guess peripheral, I guess is what they call, catches my attention. I get stuck. And I daze out. I zone out. I don't want to say daydream because I'm not actually thinking about anything. I just get stuck. And I used to say, the joke for myself, I used to say, I'm stuck, I'm stupid. Which sounds kind of harsh, right? But I really meant it because I felt like I was being really stupid in a moment when I used to just get stuck and be like, almost like if you can have an envision, like something short circuiting and you see the sparks flying and stuff, and it's just like little smoke and sparks, and like I feel like my mind just breaks down and gets stuck. And I used to hide it very well. I used to say, and it was a lie, I used to hurry up and scuffle through my thoughts and pick one, and the person say, what's wrong, or are you okay? And then I just project one of those thoughts, and not saying that one of those thoughts weren't one of my thoughts, but literally in the moment that they're probably asking, my mind just stopped. And I want to talk about that today because this is probably one of the hardest parts of trying to conclude what's wrong with me sometimes, because I have to admit era of no resolution. And I say that not to doubt God, because God is who he is. But as I mentioned, and the reason why I started this series is because a lot of people categorize mental illness with demons, and that will require deliverance and casting out of a demon. So when I say I have this problem with my mind just seems to be stuck and shut down, in their world, a demon is taking over. And reality, I'm fully aware that God created us differently, and we all have different capacities of control and understanding. There's two main key things. And some people can have a moment of like my mind shut off and they can quickly come back in. And then there's those like me where it takes a moment. And oftentimes I sit in my chair and I sit at my desk and I just get stuck. And I would utilize those times or try to make positive of those moments by saying something simply out loud. And the point would be to kind of bring me back. And I say like, Lord, I thank you. And then of course with that statement comes, I thank you for my husband. I thank you for my kids. I thank you for my home. I thank you for shelter. I think, it kind of helps me come back in. And I want to talk about that today on this video. And like I said, this is really, really hard to talk about because it is something that I have not said out loud to anyone. And like I said, if you know anything about like autism and having issues in that area, there's high functioning, where I think in that category, a lot of times people look at it as where you're borderline not autistic, whereas in my mind, I look at it as you're able to have a certain amount of control that gives the illusion of normal. That's how I look at it. And oftentimes, like I said, even when I just said, I could fake the moment, like, okay, my mind literally just shut off. But I'm able to quickly come up with a fib to kind of deter the attention off the fact that my mind shut off. Something that became increasingly hard to control was the rapid thoughts. And a lot of thoughts had to come out. And I didn't realize how bad it was until having a relationship with my stepson, Jacob's oldest son, where he would make blanket statements that were like, this is my proclamation. And we're looking like, why is he saying it like that? But it's like, after thinking about it, I'm like, I used to do that. It's just that I never was comfortable enough to actually, project that or let that happen effortlessly at any given moment or any given time. Like, it was certain people that I was able to just, okay, this is my thought right now, and I'm just gonna throw it at you. And some people went with the flow, and some people was like, yo, we're just talking about something else. And that's when those statements were made, it caused me to eternalize stuff. Like, okay, I know not, yeah. And it became slowly, surely that instead of saying these things, I would keep these things in my mind. And it became a burden, and it became stressful. And I get these moments of extreme high functioning and anxiety. Like, I appear to be okay, but on the inside, my mind is racing, my heart is thudding, and I feel like I'm unsure about even the next step of life. Like, am I gonna pass out? Am I gonna have word vomit? And it makes you really uneasy and really uncomfortable. And I find that what works best for me, especially in reference, because obviously I gotta make this about my quiet time, right? Because this is the whole point of helping people to kind of maneuver past these obstacles. One thing that I had to accept was I am that person. I am a overthinker. I am a person who has a lot of rapid moving thoughts going on all the time. I am also the person that most of the time chooses the wrong thought to project. And it makes for very awkward, unpleasant, uncomfortable situations. Even some, not so positive outcomes. Like, say, for example, you could be noticing that someone's hair is thinning out and your mind is racing and most of your thoughts are trying to get you to think something else and say something else, but your mind is like, this person's hair is thinning out, this person's hair is thinning out, this person's hair is thinning out, this person's hair is thinning out. And then, like the kid, the 3-year-old, your hair is falling out. And only most of the time after you say it, because even I notice this too, that because we're not thinking of it as the thought that shouldn't be projected, we're not the one thinking something was said wrongfully or wrongly. Like I said, the kid, the innocent child that says, hey, you got chin hair, or your breath stinks, or something stinks, that child where you got to say, hey, but you got to keep in mind that you are responsible of molding and grooming them to say, this is inappropriate, this is not. And oftentimes with a hyper mind or overthinking mind, that doesn't necessarily occur so easily. Like, it gets better over time, but it's still a problem. And like I said, usually when I come to sit down sometimes in the morning, I'm like, should I sit here? Should I get up? Should I actually go wash my face first? Should I brush my teeth, or should I stay here? Should I shower, or should I stay here? Should I go eat, or should I stay here? Should I go check on the baby, or stay here? Should I actually take the time to go do a walk, or should I stay here? Like, my mind literally does that, and it does that almost every day. And this is why, if y'all remember, I said I know God gave me the word self-control to really pray and ask for his help, because I don't have that. It's not in me. Like, the flaw in my flesh, one of the thorns would be the lack of self-control, and that spills out into my thinking. And I often think of negative, irrational thoughts, and obviously not intentional, because I try to stay in a state of calm, collective, positive, but these thoughts tend to consume me, and I find myself not even completing my quiet time, or having a very short quiet time, or the biggest issue is leaving the time with nothing, because the other thoughts have consumed me, and now I don't even remember what I read, what I studied, what I wrote, anything. And this is a huge problem. And this is a problem that I have grown to say, you know what? I have to keep pushing through. I have to keep pressing, because the end is beautiful. And when I say end, I mean when I get on the other side of glory, it will be all worth it to just keep pressing and keep going, not to quit and not to give in to those thoughts. So to anybody who's watching, you experience overthinking, having too many thoughts, you can't seem to process and decipher, you struggle, and it tends to affect and cause the other issues. You're not alone, one. I just confessed. And two, God is greater. And I don't want to say that as in God's going to make you this miraculously new person and you're going to mirror your peers, because we're all unique and different. I'm saying this so that you can rest assured that even with the lack of your control, the lack of not simplifying your thoughts, that there's a God who is pure, holy, righteous, and true, and he is without error. So you lean on him. You trust him with your life, with your thoughts, with your process. Let him guide you. Let him encourage you. Let him shelter you. And pray and talk to him. Like, let him know, like, hey, God, because it's embarrassing at first. Say, God, I really can't focus. And I'm a 32-year-old woman with kids and a husband, and I keep making the same mistakes over and over again. I keep forgetting this important thing, but I keep remembering this not so important or this negative thing. Help me, God, help me. And he will help you. And you will begin to understand what it truly means to be a new creature. Like, God's not going to make you the exact replica of the person who has it all together in your eyes, because obviously no one's perfect. And he's not going to make you the exact replica of the person who doesn't have the problem of overthinking. But he will create this relationship and this knowing that you fall short in this area, yes, but now you can lean on me, and now you're humble enough to realize, because you have this issue, you lean on me even more, and the relationship becomes stronger and better over time. And I thank God for that. I thank God that he is perfect, and he is all knowing, he's all powerful, he's all present, and because he's perfect, in him, my peace, my understanding, my content, my control is perfect in him. And I just want to leave on that positive note. So don't worry. Please don't worry. Don't beat yourself up. Overthinking can be an issue, but God is greater. I love you guys. God bless. Take care. Bye.